Hello and welcome again to another week of A Weasel, a Pickle, and Levi, a podcast featuring two brilliant people in parks. This week we come to you live in studio from Oxford,
Hi,
actually.
I'm Chase.
Oh my word, Parks. Are you kidding me? You're interrupting me.
What was that, Parks?
Hey, Parks, thank you for doing the intro today.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
I know Chase really wants to go to Oxford, so that's kind that you picked this place for this week. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, yes. I couldn't forget my...
So are you guys leading the podcast today or what?
No.
Yes. No, Oxford. Okay. Very cool.
There we go. I had a whole spiel planned and you just ruined it yet.
No, go through it.
I can't do it now. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
If I'm not flowing.
They were never funny. They were
always funny, at least in my mind.
I like the Eiffel Tower one. That was a good one.
I like
Can you
the
finish
Oxford
it, please?
one that I had planned.
Yeah,
but
please finish it.
no, it's completely unnatural at this point. Oh my gosh. This is the end. This is where this podcast goes to die.
Oh boy.
You ruined my intro. You ruined I told our listeners we're going to have this out on Saturday nights, and it's all your fault that it's not out on Saturday nights.
Yeah, thanks, Parks.
Okay, well, who knows it's not on Saturday? This could be Saturday night.
Who knows how Eastern time and Central time works?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay.
Congo. Oh, my word.
Okay. Well,
since my first intro was ruined, do I continue? Do we do what we normally do here? Or do you have something else planned, Mark?
I had something else planned, but...
Okay, what's that?
Oh, I can't say it until I hear the Oxford intro.
Okay, well, I'm not going to give that. So, all right. Our Ask Reddit question this week. What is dangerous to forget?
I think I have a pretty good answer.
Yeah, please, Nathan, give us the answer.
Valentine's Day.
Oh. So an anniversary, like that type of thing?
That type of thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I think that would be really, I honestly, I don't know how somebody would forget that. Like those are two very...
You would be the person to forget that.
I forget birthdays, but I'm not living with the person that I'm forgetting the birthday of.
Oh.
Like if it's somebody very important to me, I think I would remember.
You missed my birthday last week, so...
Nathan, your birthday is in July. It's July 16. I know that.
Oh.
Yours is May 16th.
And Mark, yours is March 16, but nobody cares.
Okay. My parents care.
That's what you think.
And Nathan cares too. So
I remember.
I have something dangerous to forget. Listening to this podcast.
Well, it's tough for our listeners to remember when to listen to it when we don't put it out when we say we will.
I was ready to go last night. Okay. Is there like a deep philosophical answer to this question? Like
this answer is whatever we make of it. This is our reality right now. We have the reality stone. We are like Nathan on a physics test. We make physics how we want it to be.
That was awesome. I have a philosophical one. It's not that deep.
Yeah, what is it?
It's dangerous to forget that you are mortal. That you're gonna die sometime.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Make me to know the number of my days.
Yes.
Psalm. Yeah.
And that just made it deep. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you introduced it. I just threw a Bible verse in there. I think forgetting history, like forgetting what we learned, is bad.
Oh.
Like Like when you just,
I love
when
that.
we as a society just move on and don't like look back and see the mistakes that people have made before, see the things that people have discovered before, like we forget thousands of years of work, and we try to reinvent the wheel, or we forget mistakes that people have made that we don't need to repeat.
At the Dark Ages in Europe.
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
Yes, going along with that, forgetting the Old Testament is very bad as well.
I
a
think
lot
we
of
should just do
Christians-
away with the Old Testament. We're New Testament Christian. Who cares, right?
See, dangerous.
Yeah, the Old Testament's kind of boring to read. I like the Psalms.
Parks, can you give us a
What?
defense for what we're saying right now? Can you defend the Old Testament? Why should we care about the Old Testament?
Because God is the same God as in the New Testament and the Old Testament, and He has His full plan laid out throughout His Word. So we must
Beautiful.
look at the whole, the Gospel and the Old Testament together. Comprehensive.
Jesus is the fulfillment of all the law and the prophets. Beautiful.
Yes.
Mark, you're a scholar.
Thank you. Thank you, Chase. You are too. So is
Yeah,
Nathan.
No, Nathan's in it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna move on now.
You
I'm
don't have an
satisfied with
answer?
that. I did give it. I said history.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget what happens in the past. That's important. Lesson learned.
I have a feeling this might be one of the worst episodes we've ever done.
we can cut things out and edit it.
No, Park, you don't know how to do that.
No, I do.
Okay, our quote is from Ron Swanson. Do you guys both know who Ron Swanson is? Oh, good gosh, Nathan.
Wait,
How do you
I
not?
think I do.
Oh my.
I don't know people.
Oh, I know who Ron Swanson
Parks.
is.
Okay, who is he? Who is he,
Ron-
Parks? No,
Ron
don't Google
Swanson.
it. No, who is he?
I'm not Googling it. Ron
is he?
Swanson is from Parks and Rec.
There we
Knew it.
go.
He looks like me, kind of, when I'm...
If you
Without-
had brown hair and you were a man, yeah, he would look like you. Nathan, you have no clue. Like you've never heard Ron Swanson.
No. No idea.
He's
I
this
like-
he's a super like manly, I eat meat and work hard. Well, I eat meat and I'm a man.
Parks, I
character on
recognize
Parks
that
and Rec.
person. That's what he looks like.
No, what?
Yeah.
What is that picture, Parks?
It's him now.
No, it's not.
There's a... I know, I'm just kidding. I have no clue.
Parks, nobody... That is... Okay, what you just did there, that's such bad radio.
Well, I'm not expecting us to talk about it. I just want you guys to laugh at the picture.
Parks, you're 0 for 2 today. You're not doing well. Your batting average is real bad.
Okay. At least I have a batting average.
But Parks, I do
boom.
recognize
There we
that
go.
person. Thank you.
Yes, there we go.
Oh my
Recognize
word. So, do you guys want to hear the quote, or should we just call it a day? on the
Let's call it
podcast?
a day. Let's call it a day. No,
Yeah,
Can we
what
move
are
on?
we, like 10 minutes in? I think we... No way it can only get worse. I mean,
Okay. Hey, here, is the quote funny?
I like it.
Okay.
Here we go. Ron Swanson. When people get too chummy with me, I like to call them by the wrong name to let them know I don't really care about them.
Oh, that is okay. We'll talk about the quote, but
No,
beautiful
Parks.
segue.
Yes,
into something.
absolutely. That's what I had in mind too. Do you want to say what you're thinking about right now, Parks? Since
Okay.
the audience doesn't know what you're thinking.
All right. Okay. So Chase, and I guess, when we started this joke, a social and a practical joke on our friends, not just friends, also anyone, I guess.
Just like acquaintances, like people that we
Yes.
don't know super well. That's actually the ideal relationship. You know them and you know their name, but you're not super close with them.
Yes. So this is a try at home activity. Not at home. Try this in any location. Okay, it's fun. So we would at supper, we would when someone else would come up to sit with us, you have to slyly slide in a name when you directly interact with them. You have to slyly put in like a slightly wrong name for that person. So for example, let's say the name is Tim. Well, let's call it like Tom or something. And so you say, "Hey, good morning. How are you doing today, Tom? Did you enjoy curling today, or what was that, Tom?" "Yeah. Yep." Or for example, let's see, like Lucas or anyone named Lucas. You could say like Laramie or like Bretchel or Bruggle or
Brogdon. I don't even remember the real name for that one.
Brogan is the real name.
Brogdon, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a thing that we did. It's very funny in the moment. People, it's great when it's somebody you don't know super well, because then they are not sure that you actually know their name, and it's really funny.
And really uncomfortable for them.
Extremely uncomfortable.
Oh.
That's my favorite type of social situation, where it's just really uncomfortable, super tense, with somebody you don't know very well.
Or just call them, I often accidentally just call people wrong names.
Yeah, that happens too.
Yeah.
Like I had it at work just the other day where I called over to a guy. I'm like, "Hey, Mark, you want to come and help me out with this?" And then he didn't respond right away. He looked kind of confused. And I was like, "Oh no, I called him by the wrong name. Crap." But I found out I called him by the right name later that day. I didn't ask. Of course I didn't. "Hey, did I call you the wrong name?" I didn't ask that. You don't do that. You try to find out by conversations with other people.
There's a good solution to that.
What
At
is that?
Moscow, we have little name tags at all of our desks.
Well, we're not. We're
me,
real
so
men
they call me
at Airflare. We work hard. We don't wear name tags. We get dirty.
Oh, good.
That is true, though. You can try to... Okay, not what was just
I
said.
just equated manliness with not wearing a name tag.
Okay. And then I just said that is true. I don't mean that is true. I was saying it is true that on the side, you can actually really work hard to try to find out someone's name through interacting with other people.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. I think 80% of the names at work that I've learned them through other people talking with them.
Yeah. Yep. That's how I learned your guys' name.
That's how I remember yours, Pongo.
Yeah, okay. Are you guys just forgetting my name every time you call me Mark?
Yeah, we just make up something new because we can't remember what it really is.
There's a dozen options at this point. So
yeah, it's tough. I add them to my phone contact for you so I can remember them all.
That's good.
Sometime on this podcast, we need to discuss why this podcast is called what it is. We've never talked about that before on air.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
That could be a good segment sometime.
You know what was kind of weird yesterday when you guys called me and I missed your call? I said, "Call Pickles." And that felt really weird because I kept trying to say "Call Parks" and it wasn't working because I was in Siri.
Because you have him in your phone as Pickles?
Yeah.
Here's Nathan at work in a quiet office with hundreds of men around him. "Call Pickles."
Oh my word.
Weird.
Okay, so we covered some pretty crappy topics so far, so let's keep this train rolling here, boys. Uh, Today, for our theological topic of discussion, we're going to be talking about infralapsarianism and supralapsarianism. Words that are big, words that make us sound like pompous jerks, words that make us sound like scholars and gentlemen, words that scare small children and most Christians, but we're not afraid of such big words because we know things and we're smart and we're theologians and we're gonna figure it out.
Should we give some background on this? I have a summary pulled up of the 2 points.
Yes, of course we need to give a description because I'm not even sure if I could do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna read what someone else said.
No, well, okay, please cite your sources, Weasel.
Well, I was gonna use Wikipedia, but now I'm not gonna do that.
Well, I can break it. I can break down the words. Can I break down the words, just like the structure of the words, and then you can.
Oh, like what infra and supra means?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the root of both words, lapse, is like a lapse in judgment or a fall, and so it's referring to the fall of man, sinning, Adam and Eve sinning. And then infra and supra so supra is above or before, and infra is below or after. So supralapsarian is before the fall, infralapsarian is after the fall. Yes, and so that's a breakdown of the words. There's a little more meaning behind exactly what those words are referring to, which I'll give it to Nathan to talk about.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that up until 30 minutes ago. So,
yeah, just to preface this all, we are experts in that. I spent maybe an hour researching this. These guys probably spent 20 minutes, maybe. And so just expect good things from us. We're going to give you the answers you want.
Yes.
Yes.
So the two different Lapsarian views, like Chase said, one is talking about before the fall, one is after the fall, and that thing that's happening before the fall is, or after, is God choosing to save or condemn people. So I guess predestination, the idea of when that occurs in the order of God's plan of his creation and salvation for his people.
And
so
an important distinction with this is that it's not in time that this is happening like this. Like it's not before the fall in time. It's in logical order. All of this is occurring before the foundation of the world.
Oh, so it's before time.
It's before time started, but the argument is arguing when did it logically happen in God's mind before the world was even created. Because like Ephesians 1 says, before the foundation of the world, we are predestined to be adopted as sons. And so all of this is happening before the world was created, but it's just a matter of when it logically occurred in God's mind. Because he's outside of time, we can't put him into a box of when it happened in time. He's eternal. So that would be false to try and do that.
So yeah, in my opinion, this is kind of a fun thing to think about, but really grasping at straws, trying to figure out how God thinks. So
yeah, and you got to try and back it up biblically, but it's so unclear that you're never going to be able to get a solid answer on it.
Yes. So supralapsarianism is that God, before the fall, had a decree to save some and condemn others. Mm-hmm. This is off Wikipedia, so if this isn't right, call it out. And what came his decree to create those he had elected for salvation and those he had not, or the reprobate. And then the fall happens, and then salvation is given to the elect. Mm-hmm. With infra, God creates human beings, and then the fall happens, and then God chooses to save some from condemnation and leave the others condemned. And then salvation occurs for the elect. At the same point, I think they agree exactly on that on the important part there. So
Yes, and this is all
Summary.
God's decrees and things that he is permitting and planning, and like both of these views have a very like high view of God being sovereign over everything that's happening and him decreeing what comes to pass. Like even the fall, and like that's something that God decrees in a sense. Like he's not at the will of human beings.
Yeah, it's
Which
like
is,
he permitted it to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
he's not the yet we're not saying he's the author of sin, but we are
exactly.
saying he's absolutely sovereign.
Here are some
so
points of
difficult.
agreement. Here's some points of agreement between the two that mention some of those things. God is not the author of sin. Both believe that.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible is the only source of our knowledge of God's decrees. We're not using philosophy to argue this, like just Renaissance thinking or anything like that. Man's fall and punishment is not merely the object of God's foreknowledge, but his decree and foreordination. So they believe in predestination, and it's not based off of, God seeing ahead and saying, this one is good, so I'll choose him.
Yeah, it's all God's
on
pleasure.
him.
Yeah.
Yep. And faith is not the cause of the decree of election, neither sin the cause of the decree of reprobation.
That one's weird. I think I agree with it, but it's difficult to think about. But it's just like
I don't understand that one. I read something about it in this paragraph down here, but I got lost.
Where are you? Is this from the Bob Inc. article that you're reading right now?
I don't know if we have the same thing, but yeah, it's Herman Bavinck.
Okay. I don't want this to be just like we're reading from people, because everybody can find that on the internet. I want to kind of give our own thoughts, but it helps.
But assuming that no one knows anything.
Yeah, because we also know nothing. Mark, you have been quiet.
Yes.
What are
Which
you?
one?
I'm okay. Well, I tend to lean towards, I guess, the infra side, because in like the 20 minutes of research that I did, it seems that a lot of times that when Jesus is talking to his disciples, I think John is one example, John 15, I think, he's talking about like choosing them out of the world, or like almost like you said in Ephesians, I think, like an adoption almost. And to me that makes sense. That here, I'll read. Okay, I have John 15. This is pulled up. I'm not sure. I think it's John 15:16 or something. It says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you. I chose you out of the world." And so it's as if Christ is choosing the elect.
He's choosing them from something. Yeah, after.
Yes, from the fallen world. It seems to me. That's just kind of the main argument that I agree with.
I can jive with that. I mean, I can kind of jive with both sides, because it's such a difficult issue, and I'm never going to get it totally. But, so there's like Herman Bavinck is a Reformed theologian. He's a Dutchman, of course he was. He kind of went with a view like neither are sufficient, which I like. Because in my mind, like, God's mind doesn't have to logically like flow in order, like that he has to go from one thing to the next. Like, okay, of course God is logical and truthful, yes, but he can think multiple things at once and have things working in coordination with each other, and it doesn't have to be a sequence of events that one thing flows from another. But it's
like Arrival.
Yeah, the movie Arrival.
Yeah.
I really like that movie. I don't remember it super well, but I remember being like, oh yeah, that's deep.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I don't remember it either.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, there we go. It's a thing. But here, I want to read this Bavinck quote. So that he's talking about God here. And he says, God sees the whole and surveys all things in their relations. All things are eternally present in his consciousness. His decree is a unity. It is a single conception. And in that decree, all the different elements assume the same relation, which a posteriori we even now observe between the facts of history. So that's a big word that I don't really know what it means. And which will become fully disclosed in the future. This relation is so involved and complicated that neither the adjective supralapsarian nor infralapsarian nor any other term is able to express it. It is both causal and teleological. That which precedes exerts its influence upon that which follows, and that which is still future already determines the past and the present. And that's the last part is really, I think, profound. That which precedes exerts its influence upon that which follows, and that which is still future already determines the past and the present. And so that's kind of saying like there's not, like, God is outside of the bounds of time and he's beyond the limits of human logic. And so he can, like, his will and his thoughts can be interdependent upon each other, and they don't necessarily need to be causally followed by each step in the plan or something.
See, all that paragraph just told me is that as finite beings, we have no way of understanding logically what happened in God's mind when he was choosing his people.
Yeah. And so, like, that's why I would say neither are sufficient, even though, so something else I want to say about this is like, so I asked my pastor, I just sent him a text, infralapsarian, supralapsarian, or subralapsarian, which is a very similar to infralapsarian. That's all I said, and then he sent back infra, and that's it. So I'd like to discuss it with him sometime. And so there's a man that I really respect who said infra, and then Kevin DeYoung is another preacher who's fairly famous Reformed preacher who's alive right now in the PCA. He is infra, and I respect him a lot. And then the canons of Dort are they take the infralapsarian view.
Yeah, that's I have that up right now.
Yeah, and so those are people that I really respect and things that I respect, and they take the infralapsarian. So maybe, but I think
I would as well.
I think they're
a man that I really respect too, who takes the supra, is Mitchell Minderhout. Just so you know.
Yes, yeah, but Mindy has no idea what he's talking about.
That's true.
No, I can't say that about Mindy. Mindy is a man who is beautiful, who knows his theology well. He spurred this conversation on, actually. So
he did, yes.
His opinion holds weight and merit.
Chase, I would also say infra. I don't think supra or infra adequately describe anything, and it's all still very confusing, and I don't think I'll get it, or any of us will. But
no,
if
it is fun. It's fun,
sides,
and it's good. I think it's a good thing to think about still. Like, it's not unimportant.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good, like, topical conversation, I guess. Like, when I first read the definitions or whatever of both sides, my mind went straight to, like, why does this matter? Like, I didn't really understand the importance. But I agree. Like, I think it is good to think about at least before,
Well, because the things you believe about God do matter. And so, like, it's important to think about it, and it's important to want to be biblical and truthful to who God is. I was just listening to a podcast about why we care what we believe about God, and it's like, if you have a wife, you want to know her and who she is and not somebody else. Like, you want to get it right. And so, like, same with God, like, we want to get it right who we're worshiping and who we're loving and following.
Yep, this question trying to get at the nature of God, understanding him. So,
yeah,
I think
there's two other quotes I want to read. One from Kevin DeYoung, and this is from his article he wrote on the Gospel Coalition. He said that the debate is not insignificant, but neither is it a hill to die on. And so that just kind of gets at what we were talking about now. It's what you believe about God is important, and what you emphasize is important. So it's like, it is an important debate in that sense, but then it's not a hill to die on where you, like, get upset about it and everybody else is wrong and you're right type of thing, which is what I tend to do sometimes. But
I have a statistic here.
Yeah.
It says that historically, it's estimated that less than 5% of Calvinists have been supralapsarian.
Interesting.
So
it's a less popular view.
Yep.
It's from my understanding, supralapsarian like gives even more of a weight to God's sovereignty, which like Calvinists tend to do anyways, and so like this is just like another step to it, I guess.
And then again, I'm not sure how infra takes away from it either.
Like it doesn't, because both are saying he's decreeing everything, but
Yeah.
because
The question is the order at which it happened logically in his mind. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure anything would take away from the sovereignty of God in this situation.
Is it that, like, were you saying, Chase, that like supra is more of like a, like before things happen, or so? I don't know. Like, why would it be more showing God's sovereignty? Because
he chose for specific possible men before anything even happened.
yes,
He chose to save them before even a fall was planned. He chose to save these men, and he instituted the fall, or he permitted the fall, in order that his plan of these men being saved and some being condemned would happen. And so the supralapsarian makes the creation of the world and the fall of man as a means to an end of completing God's plan of saving some men for his glory.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas infralapsarian, man is created, man is permitted to fall, and then God chooses some to be saved.
Right.
Some to be condemned.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with the term vessel?
Mm-hmm. Like,
so something that goes along with what Supra says. God made some men as vessels of mercy and some as vessels of justice.
Yeah, so that's like Romans
some of the
9
idea,
stuff, right?
Yeah, that's a hard chapter to read.
Yeah.
Like, why? It's the question of, like, Paul says, God can do whatever he wants. A potter can make some clay for honorable use and some for dishonorable, and the clay cannot question it. So,
yeah, like Esau I hated, but Jacob I loved, and that was before they even were born.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So that's like, what? That's crazy. But I will end this discussion with a quote from Martin Luther. This is from the site monergism.com. When some inquisitive theologian asked Martin Luther what God was doing before he created the world, Luther quipped, "He was busy creating hell for foolish theologians who pry into such questions."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there should be a humility. Well, that's a classic Luther quote there. I mean, he's very abrasive and super
straight
funny.
Fire from my boy Luther.
Love Luther. I think he's really funny. But like, that just shows the humility we need to have for prying into these type of questions. Like, even the canons, I think the canons or the Belgic talk about how we shouldn't, like, there are some things God hasn't revealed to us, and we shouldn't try to pry into the deep mysteries of God that he hasn't revealed to us. And so there should be humility about this stuff.
You
have to be okay with not knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So then why is the discussion still adds to, like, us understanding God's character, even with that in mind?
Well, I think this is something that you can swing as it is revealed in his, like, it's not clearly and totally anybody can say they have the sure answer, in the sense of, like, the answer that Jesus was fully God and fully man. Like, that's very clearly revealed in Scripture.
Yes.
But this issue is not as clear, but that's not to say nothing is talked about with it. Like, you can find evidence for both sides, and so it is important to talk about it with, like, how you think about God and his character.
Yes, right.
For the day-to-day living of the Christian, like, probably isn't, if somebody never hears of this, it probably isn't gonna make a huge deal. But like, we're called to go from milk to spiritual food, like meat, and so maybe this is part of it, developing our understanding of who God is and thinking about such things.
Yes, right.
And thinking logically and backing up our arguments with scripture and stuff.
Right.
And I think it's just fun. Some people might think that
this
is the worst, but I think it's fun.
No, it is very, fun as well. I agree.
Next topic, boys. Great engineering topic. One in which I told you to research, and then I myself didn't do any research on it because I was too busy looking at infra and supralapsarian. So I will try to chime in on top of what you guys bring up if you researched anything. So we're going to talk about energy efficient homes, or how to make a home more energy efficient. So what do you guys got?
Could you define efficiency?
Lights.
What?
No, that's not efficiency. Chase, could you define what efficiency is in this situation so I know what you're talking about? Like
That's
using
good.
or using or making what you use go farther for energy, like off the electrical grid, or what?
Yeah, making what you use go farther. So like the amount of energy I'd say using less energy to accomplish the same tasks.
Cutting away the loss of energy towards non-useful tasks then. Yes.
Isn't that always the, like,
I think so.
Like the main definition of efficiency is
what's useful over what's put in.
What is it? Oh boy. No, it's desired over cost or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's what I said pretty much.
Okay.
It means the same thing, I think.
Oh my word.
I did 2 minutes of research to confirm. So the biggest use of energy in a home is, take a guess. You should be able to guess it.
Heating and cooling the home. Temperature
Absolutely.
regulation.
Yeah, that was like 50% of everything. And like a secondary one that was significant is heating water.
Yes, I saw that.
Okay.
That's my one. Yeah.
So I think to make your home really energy efficient, it would be to cool off your house without using electricity and keep it warm without using as much electricity. So better insulate your home for both of those.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like that's a huge thing.
Like making sure the seals on your doors and your windows are tight so that air isn't flowing in and out.
Yeah.
I know in my house, somebody came in and did like an energy audit type thing and tried to tell us ways we could be more energy efficient. And one thing they said to do is like wrap our water heater with like some insulative covering. And that's supposed to help the efficiency of the water heater. Because
why is that?
What?
Why is that?
Well, you're going to lose a lot of heat through the sides of the water heater if it's just metal. Lose energy, not lose heat. Heat is a verb, not a noun. You're going to lose energy out to the air because the metal is more conductive than...
Sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about water heaters. So
I read that. I did look at water heaters. So like there are tankless water heaters apparently where like you don't, so a normal water heater, like the water within the tank, like will be heated regularly, I guess, in order to maintain that like level of heat whenever you use tap or any kind of water. And then like a tankless water heater reduces that like constant need of heat, like that energy, by like just heating when you like when you are using. I
actually at the airport in one of the hangars, their hot water heater is a tankless water heater, and I'd never seen that before. So like it just when you want hot water, you turn it on and then it heats the water as it flows through. It's not like trying to keep a tank hot all the time. Just when you turn it on, it heats that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I think maybe I don't know. I think what the only downside, I think, is what I read to this is that something about like the flow rate is lower with
I
that.
bet it's hard to
because,
it's hard to heat a high volume of water
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was gonna say, like, wouldn't there also be a delay
There was. Yep.
when you get hot water? Okay.
Yeah.
Depends on, that just means it's like a preference thing. Depends what's more important to you.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yes.
I think other things, like we talked about a little in thermo about even how you like build a home and like what direction it's facing the sun and like where you put windows.
like for the AC units and stuff.
Well, just like I'm just
How
saying
do you
words.
change the direction in which you build a house, Chase?
Well, like how it sits, like where it faces, like at what angle.
Okay, I don't understand, but I know like you
I don't
put
even know. I'm just saying things.
No,
something I know is you put the AC unit on the north side of the house so that the temperature difference is less, because your efficiency of your AC unit gets better if the temperature difference outside and when you want it to be inside is less. So
Yeah.
I don't know why it's cooler on the north side as opposed to the south side.
Well, because the sun isn't going to be shining on it's going to be in the shadow if it's on the north side.
Yeah, I know, but I thought the sun rises and goes across the sky east to west. Is it like at an
Yes,
angle?
but like, holy cow, have you never been outside before? Have you ever looked to the north and seen the sun?
Or the south?
Yes, it's more south than it's never goes to the north.
Is it really? I just thought it was like directly west or east or right above you.
No.
Oh.
What?
I'll be right back. Let me look outside.
Nathan, don't get cataracts. He's gonna get cataracts.
He's gonna go stare at the sun.
No.
What the?
Yeah, it is directly east. So you guys are lying.
Okay. Yeah, it's directly east
it is directly
right now.
West.
It's directly east at 3:30.
It's in the west. Sorry.
Yes. Also, you can just get rid of any form of AC in your house and just buy 300 fans.
There we go. That's all the cooling you need, really.
Yeah, that's it.
I really like to just sit in my refrigerator. Like I come home from work and I just sit in my refrigerator.
Some people might do that. I don't know.
I like to open my fridge door so that it can cool like my kitchen.
Yeah, that's it.
That.
Yeah. Parks.
Yeah.
No, okay. I've opened it to cool me, not the room.
Okay. Because did you learn anything from thermodynamics?
Yes. Oh, Timmer's story about the fridge, being put out in a wall.
Like cutting outside. You're cutting out a wall. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh boys, this podcast is just crumbling to the ground. Nathan, good. I would like to. I think I had two people talk to me about how you didn't know who Billy Joel was last week and thought that was absolutely hilarious.
I forgot who that was already. Who is he?
Oh my gosh!
I'm dead serious. I have no idea.
Piano Man.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good song.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. Last week when I said Billy Joel, I knew he was an American singer. I couldn't have named a single song by him if Lindsay hadn't. So, I'm not much better, but I at least knew he wasn't a freaking theologian or something.
We looked him up, though. We had the songs pulled up, so we were cheating.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, I just want to close out by naming our favorite restaurants.
Bob Steiner's.
Oh my gosh.
Yummy.
Do I need to tell
And-
that story now?
I don't know. No.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to our girl Sarah Holmberg. So I'm sitting in the grill before Heartland break, and Nathan Parks and I, we're gonna go to Bob's Diner in Lamar's. And then we're gonna go to a film afterwards. It's gonna be a nice evening. And I'm sitting there. I'm talking to Sarah like my plans for Heartland break, and I said, yeah, Nathan and Parks and I were going to Bob's Diner, and then she's like, oh wow, that's very cool. And then I think something later, she was like, so like, how do you know Bob Steiner? Like, how did you get invited to his house to go eat? And I'm like, what are you talking? Oh, I see. There's been a miscommunication. I said Bob's Diner, not Bob Steiner. So thank you, Sarah, for that wonderful story.
Yes.
They do have good food there also.
It was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Would recommend.
I think I had a spicy chicken sandwich or something, some buffalo chicken something.
What is that place in Platt, the ranch place?
Oh,
that
Booms.
has
Booms drive-thru.
Booms is good. Yeah.
Best ranch on earth.
Actually, yeah.
10 out of 10 would say so, yeah.
We left with like 2 gallons of just ranch in us.
We went to the drive-thru the next day, and we're like, and so they're like, hey, do you guys want some shakes or something? And we're like, no, we just want 2 gallons of ranch.
Yeah.
3 straws, please.
Yeah, 3 straws.
Yes. Oh, yes. I love Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel is one of my
Cracker
favorites.
Barrel's great. Tough to beat Cracker Barrel.
Mhm.
Breakfast food, love the breakfast food.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boys. This is dying.
No, it's not.
What's the over-under on how many more episodes this goes before it just crumbles to the ground?
I'm thinking at least 200 more. I think we can start.
This is just season 1.
That's true.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Go through,
Next
like,
season we'll be
10 or
back
so.
bigger, better than ever. We're gonna make a lot of money.
We'll
Or
have
professional.
celebrities on. We're hoping to get Trump or Obama.
Parks, you need to work on that. That's
Yes.
your job this next week, is working on getting us some celeb on here. Okay,
Yes, I will. Do
please.
that.
I'm not
I will-
kidding.
I will-
like
I
you
will
need to
have-
work on something.
Yeah, I will have a report of names that I've contacted to my dad. Oh, maybe my dad can come on.
Oh yes, yeah. I do want that to happen.
No,
Actually, oh wait, Nicole is coming on next week.
yes, no, that's yes.
That'll be good.
Hmm.
Okay, gentlemen. I think I'm gonna shut this puppy down. It's on its last legs. Boys, we've done what we do every time on this podcast, in that we've talked about some things, made some jokes, really just Parks absolutely ruined the introduction.
No, we need to hear that.
There wasn't much coherence. We rolled, we're crawling, we're just trying to make it to the end.
And until next time.
Yeah. Every week, I'll just be like, "I'm Chase."